Good day, Vipin from Learning Reel. Welcome back to the course. Now it's time to learn about HTML attributes. If you have still not subscribed to my channel, please do and click on the bell button for getting all the latest notifications. Thank you. Alright, here are the objectives for this session. In this video, we will discuss about HTML attributes and how to use the style attribute. HTML elements can be modified by attributes. Attributes are placed within the opening tag in an element. Many elements support specialized attributes, and there are also a few global elements that can be used with any tag. For example, the ID tag is used to specify an identifier that uniquely identifies the element on the page. These identifiers are used within JavaScript and cascading style sheets. As you will learn all these deeper, do not worry now. Here is what a tag with an attribute looks like. As you see on the screen, the first HTML line of code. The main underscore heading is the ID here, and hello world is the text appears on the screen. As you can see, the attribute is placed within the opening tag to the right of the tag name. You can also include multiple attributes in a single tag. See the second line of code now. The class attribute is another global attribute that can be used to establish arbitrary groups of elements. You can assign the same class to multiple elements so that they can be referred as a group via CSS or JavaScript. In this module, I have used the h1 tag a few times. Browsers display text enclosed inside an h1 tag in a large boldface font and leave some white space after the heading before printing something else. Default styles are associated with the tags like h1 tag. Their main purpose is to describe the structure of the document. Using CSS, you can tell the browser to render the HTML tag differently than it normally would. CSS provides a lot of flexibility in how you can alter appearance of any text of element or any type of element rather, and the styles can be applied in a number of different ways. The third global attribute you will see a lot is style, which I'm talking about now. There are also a number of attributes that are associated with specific elements of families of elements. I will talk about those attributes along with associated elements as we progress. You'll learn more about CSS, which is nothing but cascading style sheets, in the upcoming sessions. CSS as a way you could control the look and feel of your pages. The advantage of CSS is that it can be used in various ways. For example, you can put all your styles into a separate file and link to that file from your web page. That way, if you want to change the appearance of an entire site, you can simply go ahead, edit your CSS file and make changes that span every page that links to your style sheet. Or if you prefer, you can include the styles at the top of your page so that it can apply only to that page. Style sheets affects the entire page. There's also a way to apply styles one tag at a time. Using the style attribute, you can also include styles inside the tags themselves using the style attribute. So you can also control the specificity of the styles you create based on how you define them. For example, you can write rules that apply to all tags of a specific type, such as all h1 elements in this case, or you can specify classes for your elements and then write rules that apply only to those members of that class. Classes are categories or labels that are assigned to tags using the class attribute. For example, you could create a class called headline and then make all h1 elements in the headline class as blue in color. You can also write rules that apply to a single element by assigning them a unique identifier using the ID attribute and writing rules that apply to that identifier. Here's an example of an h1 tag that includes both a class and ID. h1 class new head here and ID head underscore line, right? And the text learning reel, which it is going to impact on. So as I mentioned previously, the style attribute can be used with any tag by including the style attribute in a tag. You can specify one or more styles rules within a tag itself. Here's an example using h1 tag, which I introduced earlier, a style within the h1 tag. The style attribute of h1 tag contains a style declaration. All style declaration follow the same basic pattern with the property on the left and the value associated with that property on the right. The rules ends with a semicolon, and you can include more than one in a style attribute by placing semicolon between them. If you're only using or including one rule in a style attribute, the semicolon is just optional, but it's a good idea to include it, right? So as we practice and learn more. In the preceding example, the property is font family and the value is Verdana sans serif. The attribute modifies the standard h1 tag by changing the font Verdana, and if the user doesn't have that font installed on his system, in some cases, whichever sans serif font available, the browser selects. That's all we have in this session, friends. See you soon in the coming lecture. Have a nice day.